Good evening. My name is Jerry Sola. And to all of the parents of the class of 2018, I want to let you know that you all gave birth to wonderful children.
Oh, Jerry. He's the cutest.
This is the part where I wait to see if any last-minute pranks or antics are going to go into effect. No? Good. That is why they give us the diploma when the ceremony ends, after all. Even if there were to be a wonderful child who would pull a fast one at this given moment, I would still consider them quite wonderful. Maybe by the end of my speech you'll see why. 5 years ago, when I first joined the Wildcat Nation, I was coming into the school with a preconceived notion of what to expect. My idea of West Shore was that it was full of lousy, obnoxious, classless, know-nothing snobs who had no grasp of what the outside world consisted of, and that it suffered this condition due to an unhealthy lack of diversity. And within my first few months of attending West Shore and getting to know the class of 2018 a little, I established that I was correct. At the time, I was looking at West Shore as a monolith. Of course, I had my people, my friends I've known since elementary school, my teammates from basketball, and anyone else I deemed acceptable. They were all my people. But everyone else was part of the great West Shorean blah. You know that colleague or coworker of yours who you see whenever you're in your place of business and you're just like, oh, I hate that fool. They don't even have to say anything, they just walk in and you're like, nah. Well, that was me, except with the majority of my graduating classmates. Now, the thing that we do as humans is we confuse this hate we feel towards the people we disagree with or dislike with discontent. They do things that aren't like us, or have different goals and different methods of achieving those goals, and it sets us off. But it's discontent that we feel towards people who operate differently than us. As I got older, and my sphere of acceptable West Shoreans grew bigger, I began to develop expectations of the different groups and cliques I'd encounter. The dancer girls are all in their own world, as are the soccer boys. The outcasts don't want to socialize or like anyone. The other sports all suck and are overly competitive for no given region. The higher achieving academics, who aren't part of the general population, are a step above you, and you'll never be among their ranks. And the theater kids are just weird. Now this last one, as some of you know, was a little extraordinary to me because they were my type of weird. And I connected with them. Interesting how you can rag on a group all you want until you become one of them. Now I was a weird thespian, and then I became a little bit older. And the thespians who were older than me then taught me something. They were able to show me that you can be a part of multiple groups or spheres at the same time. Now, why would you want to? Because the school preaches to you to be well-rounded. Why else? Also, that just because you are part of one group doesn't mean that you identify with all the philosophies of that company, or that you interact with them in the same way that your contemporaries might. At this time in my academic career, I was beginning to see that West Shore had a little more diversity than I initially gave it credit for. I found myself a part of a good portion of our school-run clubs. I was getting my feet wet with as many student-run organizations as I could. And unfortunately, I was involved with too many of our acclaimed overly competitive sports teams. One of the ensembles I joined later on was the yearbook staff. This year's theme for the yearbook is multiplicity, meaning that the students of West Shore are not bound to a singular personality or a single association. Our news anchors are our swimmers, our track stars are our YouTube sensations, our cheerleaders are our musicians. We are all more than one thing. And just because we began as one thing, doesn't mean we never change or expand to anything else. We were almost expected to, And even if we did only reside in one area of interest or skill, it didn't mean that there was an archetype we would fit into, for we are all multiplex individuals fitting into this multiplicity. As an upperclassman, I saw my experiences and the sum of my knowledge begin to tie all together. I was starting to understand this lesson of multiplicity, and not only did I apply it to who the crowds and the cliques that my classmates could be a part of, but I began to apply it to who they were as people. Now, what does this mean? It simply means that there's a proportion of good and bad and some things in between in all of us. Just because someone's your best friend on the planet doesn't mean that they won't let you down once or twice. And just because someone betrays you doesn't mean that their entire essence to you is betrayal. You can shut someone down and cut them out of your life the first time things go south, or you can have that ounce of acceptance that tells you others are more than one thing. The students were not the only people to help me reach this revelation. I was able to befriend the majority of the administrative staff over the course of my high school career. I was able to know Mr. Drake as he greeted me with an affable, "Jerry, Jerry, Jerry," every time I passed by him in the halls. I was welcomed by Miss Strout, who always offered her best advice in every guidance meeting. And I was able to become acquainted with Coach Riopel after he kept me from the high school basketball team 3 years in a row. One of the admin I regret never even having the ability to have a full conversation with was our very own Principal Fleming. He's seen me before, and probably only resorted to me as that tall, stern-looking actor boy who we've seen at all the lacrosse meetings. But I've heard a great deal about him, being on our yearbook staff and talking to my friends who are in and out of his office for various reasons. The overwhelming opinion of him was that he's a great guy. It's for a specific reason. That reason being that everything he did for the kids at his school to make everyone he worked with happy. From the anecdotes I gathered, it never really seemed to matter to him where a student was from or what list of accolades we did or did not have. Because once we were in his world, he saw light in all of us. It makes me so upset I never really got close with him, because that's exactly the kind of perspectives on others I tried to emulate. West Shore truly has shown me wonderful people who are going to do incredible things in many different degrees. Some of the students behind me are going to be professional athletes. They're going to be engineers and economists, astronauts, filmmakers, pilots and jazz musicians, internet personalities who remain relevant for more than a year. Some of them don't know what they're going to be yet, but I know they're going to be pleased with themselves. I know this because West Shore has taught me to accept people for who they are, and it's done the same for them. With this acceptance, these graduates will be able to see the different perspectives and attributes of the world, and they'll find opportunity through the people they meet. They'll find achievement because they know that fundamentally people are all the same, and everyone around them is trying to be successful at something. Half the kids graduating tonight, we were just trying to pass with Nelson's AP Literature class. For the other half, you might not know what it is. And sometimes I disagreed with what people close to me were trying to achieve. But I didn't let that get in the way of any future relationships, because I asked myself, what is an enemy to a friend? I love each of the classmates behind me. Does that mean I'm head over heels for each of your daughters? Or that I consider myself a brother to each of your sons? No. It simply means that I respect them for who they are, and I will do what I can when I can to make them happy, but I won't get lost in the pursuit of that achievement. Through this, I can end my high school experience with an affectionate goodbye, as opposed to a passionate good riddance. And I'm sure they can do the same.